Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Current Affairs podcast channel. Today we are going to discussing some very important MCQs on Indian polity. So let's see the first question. Which of the following statements correctly distinguishes between the Representation of the People Act 1950 and the Representation of People Act 1951? So difference between 1950 and 1951 acts. Statement A. The Representation of the People Act 1950 deals with the preparation of electoral rolls and the allocation of seats, while the Representation of People Act 1951 deals with the conduct of elections and the qualifications and disqualifications for the membership of Parliament and state legislatures. So statement B. So statement B is the reverse of that one. So the Representation of People Act 1950 deals with the conduct of elections and the qualifications and disqualifications of membership of Parliament and state legislatures, while 1951 deals with the preparation of electoral rolls and the allocation of seats. Now see the statement C. Both the Representation of the People Act 1950 and the Representation of the People Act 1951 deals exclusively with the preparation of electoral rolls and the allocation of seats. Option D. Both the Representation of People Act 1950 and 51 deals exclusively with the conduct of elections and the qualifications and disqualifications of membership of Parliament and the state legislatures. So we must know the difference between 1950 Act and 1951 Act. Answer to this one is statement A is correct. So 1950 Act deals with the preparation of electoral rolls, so and allocation of seats, and while the Representation of 1951 deals with the elections, how to conduct the elections and the qualifications and disqualifications of membership of Parliament and state legislatures. So electoral rolls means who has the vote in MLA elections, state legislatures and MP elections. And also, but in 1951 Act, what they are discussing, how to conduct the elections and who are the eligible candidates for the MPs and MLAs, that are discussed in 1951 Act. So if you see the explanation, the Representation of People Act 1950 deals with the preparation of electoral rolls and the allocation of seats, while the Representation of People Act 1951 deals with the conduct of the elections and the qualifications and disqualifications for the membership of Parliament and state legislatures. So now see the next question. Consider the following provisions with respect to Representation of People Act 1950. So remember 1950 it is. So President has the power to determine the constituencies to be reserved for scheduled tribes in certain states. Second statement. The President shall determine the constituencies into which each state having a legislative council shall be divided for the purpose of elections to that council. So in this one, first statement is wrong, because it is not President, it is Election Commission of India determines the constituencies to be reserved for scheduled tribes in certain states. But second statement is correct. President determine the constituencies of the state legislative councils. For state legislative councils, it is decided by the President. For the state assemblies, it is decided by the Delimitation Commission. So you must remember that one. So explanation. The Representation of the People Act 1950 deals with the elections and the allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies. It lays down the qualifications for voting in elections to the Parliament and state legislatures. As per this Act, a person must be citizen of India, not be less than 18 years of age, which was brought by 61st Constitutional Amendment Act 1988. Election Commission has the power to determine the constituencies to be reserved for scheduled tribes in certain states under this Act. So we must remember this one. According to this Act, the President shall determine the constituencies into which each state having legislative councils shall be divided for the purpose of elections to the council. It empowers the Delimitation Commission to readjust the boundaries of parliamentary and assembly constituencies to ensure equitable representation based on population changes. The Act defines electoral offences such as bribery, undue influence and personation and provisions mechanisms for handling disputes related to elections. Now consider the next question. Regarding the Representation of People Act 1951, which of the following statements are correct? First statement, Section 8 of the Representation of People Act 1951 deals with the disqualification of a candidate for corrupt practices. Second statement, 25 years is the minimum age for a person to be eligible to contest in the Lok Sabha elections as per the Representation of People Act 1951. Section 77 of the Representation of People Act 1951 mandates the maintenance of accounts of election expenses by a candidate. So, which statement is correct? All the statements are correct. Section 8 of this Act deals with the disqualification of a candidate for corrupt practices, and Section 77 deals with the maintenance of accounts of election expenses by a candidate, and 25 years is the minimum age to participate as a MP in Lok Sabha. So now consider the next question. Consider the following statements in relation to the election of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha. Election of Speaker is mentioned in the Article 93 and the election of Deputy Speaker is mentioned in the Article 94 of the Indian Constitution. Second statement, the Speaker is elected by means of simple majority. Third statement, the member of ruling party or coalition alone will be elected as a Speaker. Fourth one, Ganesh Vasudev Mavalankar was the first Speaker of the Lok Sabha. So, which statements are correct? So, first statement is wrong. So, because Article 93 talks both election of Speaker and Deputy Speaker. So, there is no mention of 94 article. So, first statement is wrong. Next one is the Speaker is elected by means of simple majority. This statement is correct. Next, third statement is the member of ruling party or coalition alone will be elected as Speaker. So, it is wrong. So, who has majority, he will win. So, there is no mandatory like that. So, Ganesh Vasudev Mavalankar was the first Speaker of the Lok Sabha. This statement is correct. So, 1, 2 and 4 are correct. According to the Indian Constitution, Article 93 provides for the election of both Speaker and Deputy Speaker. It is the members of the Lok Sabha who elect its preceding officer by a simple majority. Notably, in the 72 years of the Lok Sabha Assembly, the election for the Speaker post has taken place thrice, in 1952, 1976 and 2024. Popularly known as Dada Saheb, Ganesh Vasudev Mavalankar was the first Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Now consider the next question. Which of the following is not a criteria considered by the central government for awarding special category status to a state? So, what are the which of the following is not the category? Special category status to a state, not the condition. First one is low population density and or sizable share of the tribal population. Second statement, strategic location along the borders with neighboring countries. Third statement, a newly bifurcated state. Fourth statement, non-viable nature of state finances. So, which of the following is not the condition to be a special category status to a state? So, answer one to this one is third one, a newly bifurcated state. Bifurcation is not the condition to give special category status. So, remaining three are correct. If you see the explanation, special category status is classification of regions or states by the central government to provide special assistance in the form of tax benefits and financial support for development of that region. So, which state has special status? So, in this one, central sponsor schemes, 90% is provided by the central government, 10% provided by the state government. In case of normal states, 60% is provided by the central government, 40% is by the state government. So, that is one of the advantages of special category status, and also there is less tax in the states. So, everything benefit is to that state. So, next one is, it was first introduced in 1969 based on the recommendations of the 5th Finance Commission. So, we must remember this one also, 5th Finance Commission. Next one is, the criteria listed by the government for awarding special category status includes 1. Hilly and difficult terrains, and second statement is low population density or sizable share of tribal populations. That means more tribal populations are there. Next, third one is strategic location along the borders with the neighboring countries. And fourth one, economic and infrastructural backwardness. And fifth one, non-viable nature of state finances. So these are the 5 conditions to eligible for the special category status. So next question, consider the following statements regarding the ethics committees in the parliament. First one, K.R. Narayanan constituted the first ethics committee of the Rajya Sabha in 1997. GMC Balayogi constituted the first ad hoc ethics committee of Lok Sabha in 2000. The members of the ethics committee are appointed by the speaker for a period of 1 year. Any person can complain against a member through another Lok Sabha MP. So which of these statements are correct? So in this one, all the statements are correct. So in first, it is constituted in Rajya Sabha. So this committee is formed in Rajya Sabha first by K.R. Narayan. After that, James Balayogi introduced that one. He is the chairman at that time. So he is the Lok Sabha speaker at that time. At that time he introduced in Lok Sabha. And then next, every member, so members to this ethics committee is appointed for 1 year. And any person can complain. So outsider also, not only MPs, outsider persons also can complain against a member, but through the another Lok Sabha MP. If MP directly want to complain, then he can do that one. But outside person need to take any other Lok Sabha MP help. If you see the explanation, the late speaker GMC Balayogi constituted an ad hoc ethics committee in 2000, which became a permanent part of the house only in 2015. At first it is an ad hoc committee, but after that one only it is formed as a permanent committee. Permanent committee means that those are not dissolved. But in ad hoc committees, if that case is completed, if this case is completed, then that committee is dissolved at that time. But after 2015, it is become as a permanent committee. Any person can complain against a member through another Lok Sabha MP along with the evidence of the alleged misconduct and an affidavit stating that the complaint is not false or frivolous or vexatious. If the member himself complains, the affidavit is not needed. So if the MP himself complains, then there is no need of any affidavit. The speaker can refer to the committee any complaint against an MP. So speaker also can refer to the committee against any MP. Next question. Consider the following statement regarding the Armed Force Tribunal. So tribunals are quasi-judicial bodies. Because there is a lot of cases in high courts and supreme courts, government forms tribunals. By that, specific tribunals view specific cases. For example, Armed Force Tribunal deals with the cases related to armed forces. For example, Administrative Tribunal deals with the IAS or IPS, like their related issues. Similarly, Green Tribunal deals with environmental related cases. Like that, for every force or every section there is one tribunal for that one. So like that, Armed Force Tribunal is also there. So about that one, first statement, AFT has been set up under Armed Force Tribunal Act 2007. Second one, the judicial members are retired High Court judges and administrative members are retired members of the armed forces. AFT has only bench at New Delhi. So which of the following statements are correct? Statement 1 and statement 2 is correct. Statement 3 is wrong. So in this tribunal, some people are there. Those are retired High Court judges, and some people are from administrative of armed forces. And also it has local benches also. There are nearly 8, I think. So Armed Forces Tribunal has its principal bench at New Delhi and 8 regional benches also there. So third statement is wrong. Now consider the next statement. Next question. Which among the following provision is available for an elected Rajya Sabha member for allocating works under the Member of Parliament Local Area Developmental Scheme, MPLATS? So about MPLATS, which statement is correct? First statement, the member may select works for implementation from the state where he or she is born. Second statement, the member may select works for implementation in the state from which he or she has been elected. Third statement, the member may select works for implementation by his or her own choice in any district of India. Fourth one, the member may select works for implementation in the state where she is an eligible voter. So which statement is correct? Statement 2 is correct. So the member may select works for implementation in the state from which she has been elected. So from where he is elected as an MP, in that state only he can use that MP lakhs fund. So the scheme provides that a member of Lok Sabha may select works for implementation in his or her constituency, while an elected member of Rajya Sabha may select works for implementation in one or more districts of his or her choice in the state from which she has been elected. Next question, who among the following personalities was the first election commissioner of independent India? T.N. Sheshan, Sukumar Sen, Kalyan Sundaram, S.P. Verma. Answer to this one is Sukumar Sen. Sukumar Sen was the first election commissioner for the independent India. So thank you very much.